Well, no, it's just that, hey, it's Pat, joined by Bob. This is Cardboard Conversations, as always, 7 p.m. Eastern on a Saturday night. I just want to start off by saying thank you, everybody, for joining, and thank you very much to Cosmic Seeds, Solar God, and Richie Dubs for helping us out and becoming channel members. Thanks to guys like you, we're able to create a little bit better content. So every week we want to try a little bit more, and because of you, we're able to do so. So thank you very much by helping us out with that, Bob.
You're
It's been great talking
kind of having some
behind the scenes.
weird audio issues where you're like getting chopped up, but it's like you're talking super fast when it does talk. I wonder if it's going to look like that. I'll watch the replay. So I think there is still something going on with your system with your audio for the past few weeks. I don't know if you downloaded some new software or what's been going on. At any rate, no. Welcome everybody. The cardboard conversation already started about 10 or 15 minutes ago. Pat and I talking behind the scenes, and I was watching. I think it was Rudy's video from today, and we're hearing these bigger channels starting to talk about it, and you're hearing more and more of the trumpeting of what Bob's been saying. I hate talking about myself in third person for quite some time now, and it's the downward pressure of the reprints and all of the myriad things that are happening. Hey, Superfest. Due to this, I hope that the folks out in Las Vegas, if you're watching us live out there, that you're not seeing it and actually having a hell of a time out there. I hope you all are having a great time. I tried to catch some of the. I caught them ex post facto, but I caught the live streams of Twiddler and Ed after they went live.
Yeah,
it doesn't look
DJ
nearly as packed as it
nice,
did last
Waffle
year.
House action, yeah.
So, I haven't really watched a ton. I know there's a lot of excitement, and for you, Superfest, I was actually thinking about it with all the Jurassic Park stuff. You ought to be pretty excited about some of the cards that are coming out. Gaia Cradle for Dinos. But I don't know, Pat. I'm not excited. The Doctor Who, even the Lord of the Rings busted ass cards, and like something that I would have been stoked about a year ago. I'm just very flat about it.
I've got to say though, the Lord of the Rings display editions, the ones that come with the six different cards that kind of make a panoramic, I like that idea. I really dislike that they are mechanically unique. I wish that those cards were a variation of other things. Right, they're going to be reprinted soon enough.
Oh, they're going to be in the list first, and then they'll probably have a version somewhere else down the road.
I do like that idea, though. I think it's a pretty cool piece to bring to collectors. If I've got a nice shelf over here, and I would love to have something like that on it, but when it's just useless cards in 9 months, I feel less good about it.
Well, what do you mean useless cards? Let's dig into that, because I was about to go down that path. What do you mean useless?
For the price you're going to pay, it's probably going to be what, $39.95. Yeah, let's say $50, right? That's going to be your average buy price on one of these display boxes. So for $50, you're going to get a couple of cards. Looks pretty sweet, and you get to put it up on your shelf and all that. I get that idea, but for the same price, I could just use like some cardboard from my kitchen, and I could just get those cards printed out. Shit, man, I could just get them printed out, the full panoramic, get all the words taken off it, and it just looks cool. I could just have that instead. So hawking this to people to buy, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Well, here's the problem, right? So right now, because they're mechanically unique, because they're like a hot potato topic, and the cards will go, they're going to come out, and you're going to have the short-term Timmies going, yay, cards that have some value. If you were watching the Rudy video that I linked behind the scenes here, and for those of you at home, it was the Rudy video about the Mythic Edition War of the Spark tanking, and I think it was 813 to 845-ish or so. I think that's something that you can apply to every product coming out. And what he's saying is basically they can't possibly go up in value, because even if those cards get some value, they're just going to get reprinted. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with these Lord of the Rings special edition. Now, you always have the special art and the panorama, and that's kind of cool, and hopefully that has some sort of premium. But you're going to buy it at that $50 price point. So that makes each card, there's what, like 6? So roughly about in that, we'll just be nice. And we'll say that you're going to get them at $30, but I don't even think you can. So we'll go like about $7 a card, right, is what they're going to come out at. Okay. And some of the cards are going to be worth 10 cents, and some of the cards are going to be worth $30, right, for now. Then in 6 months, when they reprint it, or 3 months, or next week, when they reprint the damn things, and then those special editions are just going to go down. And if it does have any kind of life and it starts breathing some life into it, it's just going to get reprinted again. If you don't think Orcish Bowmasters is getting a reprint soon, you're out of your mind. And it's all those kind of things that have any kind of life in them that Wizard is just going to milk, right, as long as they possibly can. So you're going to buy into it now right at the premium price. You're not getting lucky and hitting one of these out of a pack for $4. You're not going to get the $40 card out of a $4 pack. You are paying full premium. Understand that. That's the benchmark, plus your taxes, plus any loss. Let's just explain this from financial value, folks. That any money that you put into Magic that you care about the financial value of it, and let's qualify that statement, and listen very much to the end of that when I said, for any Magic card that you care about the financial value of it, not only does it have to go up in value, but it has to beat the standard rate of return on anything. And you can expect money to be invested at a rate to return historically like around 10% is what the stock market typically has returned over like a 100-year period. And most people can expect roughly between even a conservative 5 to 10% rate of return. Rudy says he only expects a 5 to 7% gain on boxes. Now, if those cards go up after your taxes and all that you spent on it to that amount year over year, then financially you've done well. And that's where people feel bad in Magic right now, is the financial aspect of it. If you didn't have that financial aspect, you wouldn't have such a thing as proxies. You wouldn't have people saying just buy singles. You wouldn't have the professor's booster box game. You wouldn't have all these
nobody talks about the
channels.
financial aspect of being a Call of Duty player. When
right.
You're really into World of Warcraft, nobody talks about the financial aspect of the hobby of fishing. No, it's about the pure enjoyment. And I think that you talk about a really good point there, Bob, is that there is a little bit of sour in the soda when it comes to people that are making money off of something that is supposed to be a purely enjoyable hobby, something that you put money into and get none out of.
Well, I think where the disservice came into Magic was right around, the COVID era. And what I mean by that is, prior to that, the Magic financial ecosystem was just doing its thing, its ebbs and its flows, and it was very standard. It was something that you could pretty much set your watch to, and you knew what it was doing. It wasn't sexy, it wasn't exciting, but it was very consistent. And they have monkeyed with that. They have completely turned it on its head, and all the YouTube channels and whatnot. Don't kid yourself. It's always the flashy. It's always the, oh my God, you hit an underground, river, and it's the $1,000 Gaia's Cradle, and all. It's the $2 million.
I got a confetti foil. Yeah,
one of one. That's what it's become, right? So it's not the players or the evil investors or even the scammer flippers that have caused this. It's WotC themselves trying to cash in on the secondary market value of this and really upset the balance that was there. And unfortunately, I think that they have nuked 2/3 of the audience, and probably, I'm going to just say it, I think it's like the 90%ers that are providing, they're providing 90% of the not the 90%ers, 90%ers paid 10% of the retail, but the 10% that you pushed out paid 90% of the retail. And it just hasn't, filtered through the system yet. But that's why you're seeing Amazon dumps of $200 boxes 6 months later being $100 boxes, right? Because they're just not buying. The market's drying up for the people that were buying and supporting the 90% of the players who don't want to pay for boxes, who don't want to pay for cases to crack and put singles in the market. You cannot just be the buyer. There needs to be somebody who's the supplier. And when the financial sexy end of it goes away because you're just draining it into the pockets of WotC, well, you're losing that part of the audience. And I think that's where we're at with Magic. I don't know where the bottom is. I don't know what the other side will look like. I've said it many times. I'm not selling anything. I'll just, I can afford to hang on to mine and watch my whole collection go to zero and go, well, that happened. At least I could still play.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir, Bob.
Yeah. And I'm actually truly fine with it. I mean, I could show you. You want to see a shelf of sadness and heavy bags? I could take my camera around the corner.
No, I already got my
own. Hey, yeah. Prime. Hope y'all are having a good time out there.
What up, Dan?
Yeah, nice. It looked to me from the lives that I've seen, it did not look nearly as crowded this year. What say you from the actual showroom floor there in Vegas? Is it as popping as it was last year?
Yeah, are you
we'll get back to
that. Elbows in the ribs?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty, nuts to butts, kind of like what we saw at Gen Con. That's it was that packed. Only understand that the venue is like 10 times smaller in Vegas. Like it was Gen Con, speaking of which, I was thinking about that. What was your overall impression? Do you feel like you would go again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would definitely go again, and I would just make sure to tailor my experience a hair differently, but I had a phenomenal time. Well, Prime, we wish we were there too. Unfortunately, lots of things, you know how it is being an adult. Sometimes it just don't work out.
Yeah, you got to pick your battles, and Gen Con was definitely higher on my list this year than Vegas 30.
Oh yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
And Gen Con is something that, like I can go to year over year. The problem with like a Magic convention, especially after like for one day, awesome. But if you're going to fly out to Vegas, you're not going there for one day.
Well, and like that's the thing is, getting to play Pathfinder with Matt, getting to hang out, and you just bought Clank so we could like sit down and play it. Enjoying Hero Quest, going to all of these other things outside of just my love for Magic the Gathering. I mean, that's part of why this is Cardboard Odysseys, is because it's not just MTG. There's so many other things that we're getting into, and I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed Gen Con so much, is because of how many different experiences I got to take part in. Checking out dice, I mean, I saw Obsidian die while I was there, legitimately carved out of a piece of volcanic glass, a D20. And there's nothing like that if you were going to go to a regular Magic the Gathering conference. I saw Matthew Lillard. Like, I mean, Amy ran over. Like, I got to hang out. Yeah, I mean, there's so much fun that we had at Gen Con that I don't think I would have gotten out of going to an event like Vegas 30,
It does. Like what you were saying, there are so many different things that you can, dabble your toes in. Certainly there's a big Magic presence, as you saw.
Absolutely.
It might even be the biggest for a single game. I understand there are tens of thousands of games there, and you guys really didn't get to, venture out into all the different hotels. You didn't get to like, how much did you go up onto the second floor and see a lot of like the, what do they call that? Where they're holding little conferences and shit. Yo, Dual Brain!
What up, Ed?
Hey, thanks for stopping in while you're out there in Vegas, man. Hopefully you're having a good time. Pick me up some pins, bro. I was watching Dual Brain earlier. He was talking about, it looks like there were some like really cool deals, but they've all been gobbled up already. And of course it's going to be that way. So, and I asked Prime, but I didn't get a really firm answer, Dual Brain, if you can still hear me. How is the attendance this year compared to last year? Very curious about that.
Yeah, I wonder how the action has changed in that aspect. If there are more or less people that are interested in going to the events.
It looked like Magic, they did more.
Changing so much.
It looked like they did more from like setting up attractions and stuff from the WotC side of things, which is kind of cool. But I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, if I had to choose again, 1,000% I'd be in Vegas. I'm sorry, 1,000% I'd be in Gen Con with you guys over Vegas.
Shocking.
Not a Freudian slip. It was just
Yeah.
unfortunate, my feet were killing me. At
Shit
any
happens,
rate,
man. I get that.
um, no, I mean we'll see where it goes. I wonder where that threshold is, though, that they push too many of the collectors and investors out of the game to where it really damages the ecosystem. I encourage you to go check out channels like Cardinal Gaming. He went into it. He owns an LGS and gave some of his input. I think it was mostly on Pokemon, but it's in TCGs in general. Rudy, watch his video from today. Like I said, the one about the Mythic War, the Spark, and between that 8 minutes and 15 seconds, roughly, to 8 minutes and 45 seconds. It's only about 30 seconds you really need to watch, and then just apply that to all of Magic at this point. I think other content creators have already started, talking the murmurings where I used to get crucified for that. The reprint of the reserved list looks kind of imminent at this point. So I don't know where it goes. I don't know how to fix it. People just throw these really amorphous sort of statements out there that, oh, well, they just need to fire people and bring, the other blood. Like they'll somehow have a magic bullet to fix this. And I'd like to know what that magic bullet is. I don't know how to correct the loss of faith for the collectors and investors. Like, how do you regain that? It's sort of like your girlfriend if she cheats on you. How do you ever trust her again?
Yeah.
And I think we're very much into that phase with Magic, which is where the other games, Flesh and Blood, even though they made mistakes, they haven't. I don't feel that they've betrayed their audience, and I don't hear that sentiment from the Flesh and Blood audience. Lorcana still has a very clean slate ahead of it. Made a couple of missteps with the packaging.
I don't know, Ed. Like, I see a
We'll
lot
see.
of reasons why they don't, and I see a lot of reasons why they do. And with the current trend, I gotta say, the waters feel a lot more fair on the fuck everybody who already paid money. Let me get more money, rain dollars. Like that seems like the general sentiment from the people who are running the company that wants to make a profit off of the people that enjoy the game. And when the investors and collectors are one of the largest monetary driving forces behind their product line, it seems as though they made their money in the past selling those boxes in the 90s. Now, to make that money again, they can sell those boxes in the 2020s. And as terrible as it sounds, that's the most financially, like, they don't, Wizards of the Coast doesn't make anything for a box to be $10,000 on the secondary market. If they can sell you a box at $400, fuck yeah, buddy, they're doing it right. That's how their CEOs are seeing it. And I think double Commander Masters, the next one coming up probably, that one's going to be another $400 to $500. I mean, we saw absolutely incredible prices for Commander Masters, Double Masters 22. That was very pricey as far as anything they've put out before. And I think it will continue to trend that way until they can't get more money out of you. I think M30 was probably the tipping point when they said, we got close to the edge. That $1,000 is a little bit too much. People bought them. Don't get me wrong. People are still trading them with a 20% profit margin, minus your 13% for selling fees. You're making 7%. That's not great, but it's also not terrible on a transaction that you did online.
Dude, to that point, people keep bashing that, but what's the percentage on Dominaria Remastered?
Dude, I got a whole bunch of shit back here that's not worth anything.
No, I'm saying what's the percent? No, you're trading at a positive 20% for M30. What product are you trading at a positive for any other thing that's been printed in the last year?
You think Ikoria is doing that? One of my favorite sets of all time. Now that all the Triumphs are reprinted again, it's a negative hold. Like, I have Dominaria Remastered. I thought it was going to be great. I talked it up with Bob and Matt. Oh, man, I was getting so excited. Yeah, and see how that turned out? Yeah. I bought it like...
I feel bad for you. I mean, I did try to...
I feel bad for me, too. But like that's neither here nor there because I'm gonna have a great time opening that up with a couple of my buddies. We're gonna draft and like we'll all have tutors and shit. And then come the end of it, you know, they'll give me a couple of bucks that'll cover the Dominoes and the Bud Lights, and we'll have a great time. And that's how I'm gonna see that product. I don't see it as something that sits on my shelf and it gets me a couple of percent every fiscal quarter. No, 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 no. That's
I guess what I'm saying is for the M30, as much as people bash it, and even
what up,
Rudy was just
coach?
bashing it, and I'm like, sorry, but M30 percentage wise is doing better than just about every other magic product that's been printed in the last 2 years. Sorry, at least it's in a positive. Yeah. Nothing else is going up. Everything else is going down. Every other steel product is just going down.
Let's see.
In even older steel
system of MTG, reprints and overprinting is like adding too much carbon monoxide in the atmosphere. The result is global warming, water shortage, and extinction of species. Hey man, I feel. Hey Richie Dubs, we got one of our channel members here. Thank you very much for joining tonight.
Honestly, Richie, I think when they go reserve list next time, it's not going to be proxy. It's not going to be collector's edition.
Yeah. You think?
I think it's going to be full on. Well, we're just going to remove these cards from the reserve list and not violate the reserve list. Nowhere in there does it say they can't take cards off of the reserve list.
Ooh.
Sorry.
And also, go ahead and sue over promissory estoppel. Like honestly,
yeah, I've talked to you about that a little bit behind the scenes. I still have the you know, all the supporting documentation. So yeah, I do. I believe that, Richie, and I think that when that happens, you know, you're going to have probably the tryhards, the ones that are saying Magic's in a great place, it's as good as it's ever been. Even they're going to have to finally go, well, show's over, folks. And I'm not saying show's over. I'm saying it's dark, rough waters.
I think it's going to be a long time before we get any cleaning of the wounds when it comes to Magic the Gathering. I personally feel that the best thing that Wizards of the Coast could do for the health of the game is stop printing more stuff. Literal 50% reduction in everything they put out. In quantity of sets, in quantity of production. I think if they made everything...
I agree, Richie.
Just halved. Oh, man.
No, I agree with you. Actually, that's a great point because I thought about this. It's a mental exercise. Actually, I'd like a poll. Like something I thought that could, and I just want like a yes, no. If WotC, would you like to see WotC go back to just draft boxes? Cut all the other SKUs, just draft boxes. Do you think that would be a positive event? So would you like to see WotC, just as a poll, literally just only have draft boxes like they used to do back in the day? I hear that over and over again. I don't know where I stand on that. I like the collector boxes. They're too expensive for me. I don't like losing that much money. I don't buy them, and I don't want them because I want to have the draft boxes. Set boxes can suck it. I don't care. I think Dual Brain just is literally... I'm assuming Dual Brain that's yes. They should just go back to draft boxes. There's literally zero.
That's one of the weird things.
Overprint.
It's funny that you say that because from the standpoint of the producers of the cards, the people that are churning out cardboard for paper monies, I totally agree. They don't see anything wrong with it. The big issue
I'm sure that's what Cynthia Williams thinks.
right. But what's very odd is that near all of the consumers of that product line are saying to the producers, hey, there's too much. You're fucking this up. And they say, nah, look, we got all these charts. Look at this, bitch. I don't see how that can last. And I think right now it's just so very apparent to anybody who's in the game, whether it's just buying, selling, trading. If you want to buy a box and open it, if you want to buy singles, you know, if you want to buy a single, you can just wait. If it's a month, it's cheaper. If it's 3 months, it's cheaper. If it's 6 months, shit, that's way fucking cheaper. Like there's no point where a Magic the Gathering card and
That's
I go ahead, Bob.
no, I'm saying, but that's where I was talking about earlier on the stream. You have to care about the financial value. If you're willing,
It
if
matters.
you're baller enough
Yeah.
to surrender any concept of financial value out of your cards, awesome. I mean, I think it's far too expensive of a hobby slash game to say I don't care about the financial value. Understand? And let me back this up with a little bit of my experience with Magic. It's personally my experience, my opinions. So this is not empirical fact, but the basic premise that I have seen throughout the 30 years is that it is expensive. It's always been expensive, relatively speaking. It's never been a cheap game to play. I've always wanted to be able to buy more. That's part of it. It's the original loot
Right.
box.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what you would
Yes.
do
There
is
you
you would
go. I like
go
that.
in. Typically, the way most people got their cards as players is wasn't even you didn't even buy singles, right? You would go in, you'd play your Friday Night Magic or whatever, and you do draft events or you go to sealed events, and you would
Yeah.
have extra cards that you really didn't want because it wasn't really, you had some collectors, and those are usually like the big ballers, but most people that played did not collect, so to speak, and so you would have game pieces that were value kind of value driven, valuable here and there, even if it wasn't something that you wanted, and you could trade it,
Coach. Yeah.
right? You could trade those cards when you went into the LGS. You could trade it at the events that you played with. You could trade it with your friends at school. And so you had cards that had some value, right? That you could trade these things for. Or you could sell it on the secondary market, once the internet came along, so that you could afford to buy the cards and the pieces you need for whichever format you were playing, modern, commander, it doesn't, pauper, it doesn't really matter. That you would crack a couple packs and you could have that value kind of march up, and you could trade those cards in ultimately to get the cards you needed to play in the formats you wanted to play. The problem you have now, and understand, cards always kind of marched up. You didn't have this like right after release sort of curve. They would just sort of gradually march up steadily. In most cases, you didn't see these large spikes up and down. And now it's just a race. Like it's just who can crack it first and who can trade it off to sell it while it's still hot to get the cards that you wanted that are now 6 months, 9 months old to go play. And it's a very much falling knife game now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's sadly the most common thing nowadays is when we see a
Oh,
set
amen,
come
Richie.
out, the people that get cards in hand the earliest sell them the fastest.
Yeah, and I don't want to, just be on the poo-poo train because I'll be honest with you. I'm expecting all of you that watch this show to hold on to your cardboard so that we can play it on the other side of this when it recovers, right?
And I gotta say, it's terribly familiar in Lorcana as well. Is the people that have product in hand are selling it as much as they can for whatever profit they're able to get, and I think same as Magic the Gathering. It's a huge drop off in the single prices there as well. I mean, Flesh and Blood and Pokemon are the same thing. People who get their hands on the cards the earliest sell them the fastest.
Well, and I've
That's
said it from the beginning
terrible.
about
Yeah.
Lorcana. Don't look at it as a replacement for Magic, instant, quick, tendies, flip. I hope that they flood the market. I really do. I hope that they come out and drop, 250,000 boxes on the market, and all these, scalpers get stuck like the video card guys. I think it would be healthy for the game. I think a lot of people want to get the products in their hand. So I know Richie Dubs has talked about it, I think, with your nephews and nieces. And people I want to crack it right now. I would love to open some stuff right now, but I don't want to open any more starter decks. And I don't want to crack what I have, right? The collector boxes. So I wish I had some draft boxes to open right now. Certainly at 140, 150 bucks, I would.
Same.
Probably wouldn't crack a whole box.
Like I said,
some on the weekends.
I said previously, if they were $199.99 plus shipping, I'd fucking pay it. I'd grab 2-3 of them right now.
I wouldn't. I keep telling you, no, I wouldn't. And I hope they print it to the level that it gets down to, MSRP. Right? I think that's where it should be. It's already expensive at MSRP, in my opinion.
I don't think it's terribly expensive.
Coach,
at,
yeah, I mean,
150. Yeah.
I honestly think they're just cranking it up. Like it feels like they're just more and more and more. Like they're stepping on the gas pedal. Go faster, Daddy. Go faster. And it feels like they're heading to a brick wall, and it's eventually just going to go slam, or just O'Doyle rules off a cliff. It's. I don't know where it's going. It doesn't feel good to me, and maybe I'm crazy. I will be so happy, folks. I will be super happy to be so very wrong about all of this. I want the game to be healthy. I like the game. I like the people more. And I want it to be a healthy thing that I'm into. I would hate to watch it wither and die on the vine, just like other games that I've actually liked. I like Star Wars Destiny, but it died. And I don't want Magic to die. I want as many people. I want it to just add more and more people, make it a bigger game. And unfortunately, I think they've completely nuked any
Oh yeah,
possibility of that.
draft set, collector, jumpstart, commander deck, secret lairs, multiple
Wait.
times a month, depending on how you're looking at
Not
it.
just that. Then you have the special scenes in these
Oh
boxes,
yeah,
and
you
just
got the tins,
plethora of
you've got
whatever they can get.
the festival in a box, which the most recent festival in a box was just a grab bag of shit they had left over, and they called it a chaos draft. It was literally just like two of these, two of those, two of these, two of those, two of those.
What
It
do we
was
have
just
left over in the warehouse
yeah,
that we can't
absolutely.
even dump on Amazon?
Yeah. Just sets that nobody cares about at this point, and just having a bunch of stuff that nobody cares about is not what I want to bring to this channel. I would rather not open a bunch of stuff that I don't care for than open a bunch of stuff. Like that's one of the hardest things I've had about the Legion's Realms at War, right? I've probably got like $150 worth of sealed stuff here on my desk for the last fucking month, right? Because honestly, whenever I open it, I'm really disappointed, which is terribly reminiscent of Magic the Gathering. And since there is zero monetary value in LRAW, I care even less. The artwork doesn't impress me, which
Okay,
sometimes in Magic the Gathering I care for. And the
you
card
you
quality,
just
as
nailed it,
bad
right?
as it is,
Your
doesn't.
statement, and I wish people would go back about 10 seconds in the video from right now and listen to what you just said about the interest in it, especially concerning that there's $0 in it, right?
Yeah, I
That is
mean, if
a
I'm not going to play
psychological
the
thing that
game,
people need to
they're
get their
not
head
even
around.
play pieces to me. Like when I get, I just I didn't record a video on it, but I got a bunch of mail again. The one day a week I can get it. I got another like 30 or 40 Lorcana cards. Yeah, they're not very expensive. Some of the ones I went after are just legit play pieces, couple of coins each. But you know what? I'm happy to have each and every one of them. I like the way they look. I like having them in my collection. Whereas with some of these other trading card games, Magic the Gathering included for the most part now, I just don't care about them. Like there's probably a dozen Magic boxes behind me that I could open and I wouldn't give a fuck about any card I get. Because one, I could just get it cheaper as a proxy and I'll feel bad about having pulled it because it's, oh, I have to sell it right now. And I'll see the loss right away in a box. And that's one of the worst part about Magic the Gathering to me is how much of a financial aspect of it I do see intrinsically with it. When I open a box of Ikoria, Commander Legend, anything in Magic, I think all of us look at that price list and what those cards are worth, more so than what I'm getting out of it. And it's
Yeah.
weird, yeah.
And you know what? That's not the way it used to be. I mean, there was always that sort of,
Mm.
you understood intrinsically that there could be some valuable cards, but it wasn't so much this mad hunt for value in Magic for many, many of the years. And honestly, Project Booster Fund, I think, is what flipped that switch. Hey, let's try to generate value. Let's try to generate it and milk as much for ourselves over at WotC as possible. And that's what they've made the audience sort of yearn for, right? That's what it is about opening packs.
A show of hands, who takes time to enjoy Magic?
Well, I would say that we do.
How do you mean enjoy it? Do you mean Magic as a whole, Magic as individual sets? I think everybody engages it with engages with
Ooh,
Magic the Gathering in different ways. Yeah.
I love Coach's comment there at 7:34. I should just like it and not have to try.
And that's
Wow,
the funny
that is
thing.
that's
Like,
impactful, Coach. I mean that just
yeah.
literally made me feel things.
I mean, it's funny that he says it like that because my buddy came over last night. He's got 3 kids. His girl's got 3 kids, and they just started having another one. Congratulations, big ups, Jordan. Um, and he came over and he saw the stack of Lorcana cards I had, and he was like, "Holy moly! All of my boys would love this. This would be phenomenal for them to get together and play this. I can totally see them enjoying this game. Whether or not they know how to play it, they would just love looking at these cards." And that's part of my attraction to it, is that I just like having Lorcana cards because they look cool. They've got a great card design, and it's just Disney stuff
Well,
on it.
now I will say
I'm
this about
enthralled by it.
Lorcana. So I'm going to go kind of negative, Bob, here on Lorcana for a minute. Something that really concerns me about a direction they've chosen to go. Like I wouldn't mind if they just kept up, the product line that they initially released, but now they're kind of tweaking it up a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that with the gift box is now not a gift box; it's a collector box that has some
Yeah,
versions in there
yeah,
that you can only get. I'm not talking about the oversized. Those 6 cards that have the enchanted foil treatment on them, you can only get those, from what I'm hearing, in that gift set, which I think is a bad idea. You're already starting to chase the dragon like what Magic did. And if they go down that path, I think it's going to lead to a very dark end for Lorcana. Let the game breathe. Don't. I thought there were too many product lines, in all honesty, to begin with. I was really hoping that it would just be the Trove, the starter decks, and a draft box. I think that would have been fine for an initial release. But they also put the gift set in, which I really was still not a huge fan of. And now not only do they have like the gift set thing, and they're doing the Trove with the commander decks essentially, um, they're adding that collector box with chase cards in it, and I think that's going to set the wrong precedent. And
hmm
I hope that they don't go down that dark road, because I think you're going to end up in the same spot that Watsy did.
yeah. I get what you mean. I don't really agree with it, but I get what
That's
you
fine.
mean. I think that the since all of the cards that are in the collectors it for Rise of the Floodborn, Lorcana's second set coming up, they're going to be doing a collector's box. It comes with 6 unique alternative art cards in a different presentation, and I think they've got a couple of booster packs in there as well to sweeten the deal. Now, I think its MSRP is like $50, which is very low. I think you're about averaging 24, $25, something like that for the booster pack prices, and about the same for the collectible cards. Now, that's not too bad. The only issue is there's no fucking way that you're going to get that box for that price. With the limited availability, people are going to scalp the shit out of that. That's going to go from a $50 MSRP all the way up to, like, I'm guessing. I'll be honest
Actually, I
with you,
saw it
Bob.
for.
I'm putting the tinfoil hat on right now. I'm thinking 350
So here,
within
I
1 month of it coming out. I think within 1 month of it coming out, that we'll see it at 350. I think it's gonna 7x right out the gate.
so
Oh, absolutely, it's
actually I believe,
terrible.
and I'm trying to look it up right now. Um, on Cool Stuff Inc. I got like an email. I totally forgot. I didn't even really think about Cool Stuff Inc. For
If you and Richie, if
Rise of
you
the
think the
Floodborn.
tinfoil hats are sexy, wait until we get our Patreon and we have tinfoil underpants. Yeah, that's right. We are looking to get some extra content. No, I'm just fucking with you guys.
So here we go. Oh dang it! Why did it do this? All right, so I'm gonna have to do this in a very different way, but I want to show you something. Um, Giggity, it is safe for work, so don't worry about it, folks. Oh, dadgummit, I'm so good at the streaming thing, I can't stand it. So this is what we were talking about. With these 6 cards, you can only get these variations inside this collector pack, from what I'm hearing. And yes, it does have additional boosters. But you notice this is no longer the gift set. This is the 100th anniversary edition, collector's edition, which I really, it really just strikes me
Collector's
wrong.
edition.
I don't like that at all. I would much rather see them just stay consistent, especially out of the first, out of the gates here with the first year. But this is what I wanted to show you. I saw this, and I don't know how well it's going to show up. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Giggity. Oh, there we can. Oh, okay. So I don't think it's $50, but you see it right there?
I mean, $30 for that, if it does come with, can you click into it and see what it has for a
Well, it
product
won't show the
description?
$30. I just clicked it on like StreamYard like a dummy. But I of course said, hey, sign me up.
I
Let me
mean,
know when
if
this comes
it's
back in
30
stock.
bucks, I'll
But
buy
you
a
notice how it's
fucking
already
yeah.
negative, right?
Well,
That's not a
what's
good
funny
rating.
is that,
14 is not good.
well, there are 0 people that have it. So I don't know how there could be a positive or negative rating for it. It's people's opinions of a product they don't own.
I agree, but I think they're like me. Don't like the idea of it even. Like I think it's it's like M30. As much as I have talked nicely about M30, I thought it was a product line that should never have existed.
I would buy
Like
10 of those right now if I could.
why?
At that price.
Why?
I like all of those cards as
But
far
why 10?
as a combination. It's
Financial
a fairly
value.
round number. It's a
You
fairly
see,
round number. That's why I went with
but
10.
you see a potential financial gain from it, and I'm trying to steer away from that myself with Lorcana, and I really want to look at it as a game and a hobby that I enjoy, just like I did once upon a time with Magic. And I don't want it to turn into the next Magic replacement for financial value. I don't want to see that toxicity in the game, and I think that this is the exact kind of product that leads to that kind of toxicity. Oh, look, super
I
special,
think
shiny. I
I
don't
think
like
that's
that.
part of what draws people to all trading card games in general. I mean, is that, hey, what up, Far North? I
Yo,
think that a lot of people enjoy trading card games in general because there is that value in the cards themselves, in sealed product, in variation of types of sealed products. I know for me, that's a huge draw. In
I
in
hope so, and I hope
Yeah.
that it ends up being positive, and I hope that it becomes a healthy game. I would hate for it to come
Mm,
out of the gate
mm.
stumbling and go right into the pit that Magic did, right? And I don't see positivity. I think they should embrace some of the things. I think they should fix the problems like the tamper seals on everything. I don't know if you saw
Jeez.
Kitchen
Yeah.
Table did you can unseal
Oh yeah, you can just
the
uh
troves with the
for lack of a better word, you can finger those boxes and get the goodies out of them.
well, not no. This is the no. These are
No, I just
the
had to
trove.
say. I just
Yeah,
really wanted to say
but what
that
I'm
set of
saying is
words,
they
Bob.
just applied heat
It's
to the glue, and
yeah,
you could unseal these as well, right? So they really need to
yeah.
think about fixing that. That is a problem with Lorcana. If they
And
don't, I think
Superfast
that it's going to lead to
says
some very bad things.
when he got frustrated with something that he liked, he felt overwhelmed. He walked away for a little bit, returned with fresh eyes, a fresh mindset to see how he really felt about the project. He got over emotions about it as his number one thing for it. And, I get that. As a Magic the Gathering content creator, I think it's been almost 3 years since I started making videos here on YouTube. Couple hundred videos at this point. And thank you, Bob, for having me on so many times.
No, thank you
And
for joining us.
oh, absolutely love it. And thank you everybody here for joining us. If you haven't liked and subscribed, make sure to go ahead and do it now.
I always forget that part.
Yeah, dude, I know. It's so weird. But and I think that's one of the things. And we felt that as a channel that when we got frustrated and very unhappy with what Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering was producing, we started seeing other things that we started liking more, and we started bringing that into Commander raids. And that brought so much joy for me for Magic the Gathering. The only
Yes.
time I make decks now in MTG is so I can play Commander raids. So
Been
absolutely
there.
super fast. 100%. Sometimes you have to step back a little bit, take that fresh eye on it. I like that.
And and like I said, I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. I want to see where they go with it. Hopefully that
Yeah.
it's strong enough to survive. If any game will, it'll be Magic.
Mm.
It's got a lot of strength to it still. I mean, just inherently in the game that can be designed with it, and there's endless possibilities. I really think that's the direction that they should have gone with their creative juices. And instead of trying to milk the existing for every penny, how about try to create new and try to create new avenues of revenue rather than milk the old ones for every penny you can get out of them. And I think that there's plenty of room in Magic for that. Up to and including the plane chase cards in the commander decks. I think that's a wonderful idea. I think that they could definitely do more creative things with it and hook it into online with real paper. There are so many things that they could do with Magic if you're far more creative than me. I'm not the most creative person on the planet. And
I don't
instead
know, man.
they've chosen a very detrimental way to get more money out of the product rather than a positive way. And that's
It's
unfortunate. And
certainly
I just hope that we don't
lecherous.
see
Yeah.
Lorcana follow suit. Yeah.
Mm.
Because I'm excited about Lorcana. I mean, I honestly am now, like what I used to do with Magic. I'm more interested in the spoilers in Lorcana to see, what is this new Jafar doing? What is this new, like when I was sharing the cards with you guys.
I think my biggest worry for Lorcana is that Ravensburger will sell it like a Disney product, where if you want, what's the best way to describe this? If you want from Walmart a plushie that looks like a monster, costs you $9.99. But if you want a plushie that looks like one of the monsters from Monsters Inc., $29.99. And I think right out the gate, we saw that built into the product line that Ravensburger put out with a box price of $150. Let's just round up a little bit, right? $150 for a box of Lorcana, if you could fucking get it. And I think we're going to see that continuing across their line is the built-in price of having the tag of these characters on it. That we're paying a little bit more for having Lilo. We're having Stitch on it. We're having all these different characters that come from movies that are pricey as always to buy and have in your household. And I think that's going to continue, unfortunately, throughout their entire life.
Well, and here's where I'm going to go with that is that Disney is notorious for being super tight-fisted with their IPs and charging a bundle for licensing. So I'm going to assume that Ravensburger probably is paying a very pretty penny for the Disney licensing. Right.
Yeah,
And I wonder what their margins are. It would be nice if we could see that. But companies, even like Flesh and Blood, don't share profit margins. Right. That's just not something companies do.
Yeah. Right.
Except for like at the end of the quarter, and then you don't really know what they kind of
Unless you're Elon
mishmash
Musk,
all it together and make it Fugazi shell game and try to spin it positively. Yeah, Coach, I believe you, and I
Magic
agree
the
with you that you shouldn't
Corporation.
have to try to like the game. It should just be fun. It should just be Baldur's Gate 3.
Their margins are marginal. Richie, I wish I could pay 99 cents a month to be a member on your channel. If you guys haven't checked him out, Richie Dubs on YouTube makes phenomenal content. Go check him out. This guy's tops. Richie, always love your comments here.
So that's we'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm still going to be here. I like the parts of Magic that I like still, but honestly, at this point, it's Commander Raids is what we created for it.
Yeah, I mean,
and not everybody's going to make their own sandcastle.
What Lorcana was putting out, I wouldn't continue buying cards off a TCG player because it's the cheapest route I can get my hands on the product. And like I said in my opening video last week, I want to have skin in the game, And if as I've said before a number of times, $200, that's my price point. I would buy as much as financially responsible with my play money at that price for a sealed from a reputable source of Lorcana draft boxes.
I
Same
still
thing for
wouldn't.
Floodborn.
I just don't. I don't want to pay into that. Yeah, I think that you're paying the scalpers. I think you're paying the scalpers that $55 extra, right? That they win. And even if I like Lorcana, I'm not paying the Timmy scalpers out there to profit from it. And that includes LGSs. Who is it that time capsule is it?
Time capsule. Jesus
That has
Christ.
the
Time
predatory
capsule.
LGS.
He's like my
I'll
spirit
never
animal.
forget that.
He's
I'm going down there right
I just
now.
want to like rip my shirt. Just okay, guys. I can't talk for the next 30 minutes. I'm going down to the store. I'm gonna roll those fucking dice. Yeah. And you know, honestly, I'll be 100%, Bob. I probably would have gotten 2 or 3 packs by now if my LGS wasn't flooded by a once in a century storm. 100%. I'll be terrible in airing my flaws in that. I really enjoy this product line. I really like what Lorcana is doing.
But I'm not gonna pay the inflated prices, even as much as I like it, even as much as I think that it can go up. I'm just not going to do it because then it would take away from my enjoyment of the product, right? And I want to enjoy it at the MSRP, which I said even way back when we first found the MSRP. I'm like, ooh, that's a little high for 24 packs of 12 cards. Like that's a lot. And now that I even know that's going to make it even more difficult for like draft, it's like, oof, that's painful. And I just don't want to do it in good conscience. I want to continue to enjoy it. I will only continue to enjoy it if it is at a reasonable price point. And, I do well, but I don't want to start not doing well in life because I do things that I feel are financially irresponsible, and that would be one of them. Buying Magic is that for me at this point. Like it's just
yeah.
Like I don't know at what point to just dive in. Honestly, I was thinking about
50 minutes
looking back.
Yeah,
I wanted to see
it's realistically, crack is better for my life at this point because I'll clean my fucking apartment. Magic the Gathering is just making more clutter in my life.
I was thinking about like going and getting a box of Fallen Empires or Ice Age now that they're starting to go over that cliff, just so I have them
I guess
to crack and in the future 5-10 years, when I retire at BobCon, 2035, have an Ice Age tournament. And that's kind of where I'd like to go with that. But I honestly I don't even want to do that right now because I think that there's a lot more room. I think that there is a dark turn coming. There's going to be more of an exodus here. I really feel that that's in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. And
unfortunately,
the amount of videos I've seen in the last month just come up in my timeline. I've already taken part in it, but the amount of videos I've seen come up saying how to sell your collection. Sites are shutting down their buy list. Old cards are worth nothing. This whole idea is very prominent in Magic the Gathering currently, and I think we cover it in a certain extent as well, is that old cards are worth less, new cards are worth less. And just...
Well, I mean, it's like, where do you want to jump on the train? The $5 Urza. It's almost like my concept of, well, shit. The Disney Lorcana cards that are at a penny. Why not buy as many as possible? Because, how far down can they go?
Okay, so on that note, somebody mispriced a cold foil flounder. I got it for 65 cents. And don't get me wrong, it's not the most impressive buy in the world, but I love that part of it. I don't know what it is, but seeing the numbers go up. I guess I'm just like such a Gen Z or whatever the fuck it is nowadays, right? Where I love clicking that button and seeing the numbers get higher. And that's a huge
if you like that to
of...
get in the stock market, because eventually they'll turn
I
back
fuck
up.
With that shit. Yeah, no, dude, more millionaires are made in an economic downturn than any other time in history. So I fuck with that game. I'm not playing GameStop and AMC, but
no,
energy
don't fall into the what was it, Robin
I'm
Hood,
not a stonks.
Sorry,
yeah, stonks.
No, that's a great way to lose your money.
Oh yeah. What's great is a bunch of other idiots can watch you do it.
But at any rate, at some point, that's what I'm eyeballing because I don't have old sealed, and so I think there will be some market there. But understand this is who you're appealing to now. The people that have a few bucks that are just going to wait. The people that have money have all the patience in the world to buy shit. They don't have to buy it right now.
Right. That's how they still have money. Yeah.
And they'll buy it at the time that's convenient for them when they want a thing. And they
Yeah.
buy cars in cash. And guess what? They don't buy the Bentleys. They don't buy the Mercedes. You know what freaking Warren Buffett drives? It's like a Crown Vic.
I was just gonna say like a fucking Honda or something. Yeah.
No, I think it's like a Crown. It's something old like that. It's like a 25-year-old car.
Yeah.
His house is like a $250,000 house. He's a billionaire and he has a $250,000 house.
A couple of years ago, Elon Musk sold all of his physical property because he came to realize that he didn't sleep in the houses he owned and he didn't
No, he
drive
sleeps
the
in
cars
trailers.
that he had. Yeah, he goes to his office. He had like uh uh a penthouse, like a small condo area built onto his factory that he most often frequents. And he has like private jets and shit with nice air cabins in it. Like, those are the smart moves. There's a fucking reason I rent this apartment. I won't retire in this country. Why would I buy a house here just to lose tens of thousands of dollars over 2 or 3 decades? Right. These are the conversations you have to have with like your financial advisor, with people that are doing better with you, with people that are doing worse than you. Those are the people that help you probably the most. And if you're into Magic the Gathering, everybody's doing terrible. So it's like, how the fuck do you think you're going to make any pennies off of these dollars? Every time you buy a box, historically in Magic the Gathering, you get maybe 80% of your value out of it. Otherwise, you're a statistical anomaly. And those are the reasons why people make opening videos on YouTube still, is so that people
But
can, like,
you aren't getting 80% back now. Now you're getting like 30 to
those are the
50%.
good boxes. Those are the God boxes where the whole like YouTube section jerks off in the comments. And they're like, "Oh my God, you got 2 confetti foils. Ah, cool. You only lost $50. Fuck out of here." Like,
And how about the guys that didn't get any confetti foils that lost most of the money? Like those
right,
aren't the ones making YouTube videos, right? So
yeah, I grew up way too close to casinos to play that game anymore. So I realized that there's no monetary value in it, and whatever price that I pay for those cards, I could pay cheaper off of MakePlayingCards.com. Not a sponsor, want a sponsor, but outside of that, if they're not worthwhile and I can get them cheaper otherwhere, like what? Why would I interact with Wizards of the Coast at this point?
Well, I'll be honest with you. One of my favorite moments of all time being a YouTube content creator was a few weeks ago and watching you.
Oh, yeah,
Back, that was opening. And you're like, wow.
Legitimately. Yeah.
That was amazing. And that's how it should feel. That's to Coach's point.
Yeah.
That's what we need out of a game is to just have that. It wasn't about financial value. I don't even remember what cards I pulled out of it. And it's just, the goofy and the Mickey and the just pure fun of it, right? And that's what we need to have for Magic. Somehow we need to get back to that point. Yeah. And it's toxic sludge at this point. It's too much. Like, nobody's saying, oh, man, I can't get any of that Magic product that I wanted. It's like, oh, shit, I'm not going to buy it because I'm going to wait for it to get dumped on the market.
This is my current Lorcana collection, not including graded cards. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I love
it. Get the skin in the game. Like, I want to be part of it.
Who was the person that said they're going to wait for Black Friday for the Lorcana dump? I'm like, no, that's not going to happen.
No. Yeah.
Trust me, they're not going to sell anything at a discount for Lorcana at this point anywhere.
Shit, no.
Like,
People don't
you know
have
what the
stuff to
discount is?
sell.
You know what the discount is for Lorcana at this point?
It's available.
MSRP.
That's
MSRP is a discounted Lorcana.
Get the fuck out of here. Okay.
Like, think about that.
When is okay? Just gentleman's bet. I'll bet you a Cavern of Souls. That we will not ever see a Lorcana product available at MSRP for 1 year.
Well, that's first off, you're already wrong because we see them when they hit Target and Walmart. You just have to be
I
there
don't.
like the
Okay,
second
okay,
it hits the
okay,
shelf.
okay. To
So you
clarify,
already lost that bet if I
I
took it, but
don't
I'm not
think
going to
me,
take it.
you, or Matt will
Here's
ever
here,
be able to
here
get a
here's a
Lorcana
refined
product
bet.
at
I don't.
MSRP for 1 year.
I would say that you will not be able to buy it at will at MSRP. I would agree with that statement,
I
right?
don't
Because
think
the
we'll
stores
even
are
get it at
contractually
a.
obligated to sell it at MSRP, like at Best Buy, Walmart, Target. You just have to be
Yeah. Oh,
lucky enough
yeah.
to be there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
But like at will, meaning like what Magic product would you like to buy right now? You could buy it at will, and probably at or below MSRP of anything that's been released in the last year.
Dude, any Magic the Gathering product you can buy, which is the wildest thing in the world to say. Any
Less than
Magic
what it
the
came out at.
that, but
What?
either
What do you mean?
way,
Show me a product that went up.
just for years over time.
No, no,
Just
no. I'm
like
talking about something that was released in the last year.
oh no, Psh, get the fuck out of here.
Probably the
No,
last
like,
3 years.
who's higher? Come on, Bob, get out of here with that. No. There's nothing that could in the no. There's nothing in the last 5 years that went up notably.
No, I mean, I think Core 2021 is higher than MSRP, and I've
I,
always loved that product. I
I
still
was
do.
gonna say that like Fallen Empires is probably more expensive as a sealed product now than it was, 15 years ago.
I don't know. Are you high, Richie? I don't think so.
I mean, swearsies I am, but Commander Masters is always going to be high just because
No, higher than
the
MSRP. I don't think so, bro.
but in general, Magic the Gathering products in the last 5 years are a huge economic downturn, and I don't know why anybody would want to interact with them outside of the play experience or play pieces, unless they're absolutely new to the game. How many of the most prominent Magic the Gathering content creators have said buy singles? Because
Which is
outside of
flawed.
having an
I
affiliate
wish
link,
people would see that video from Cardinal Gaming. So what were the draft boxes at for Commander Masters? Yeah, I'm gonna say fuck no. These aren't even close. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share it, and we'll just try to go live with my screen. So, did I just say fuck? I just did now.
oh whatever, I've been cussing.
So, yeah, I don't know about monetization. We're probably we're all of. I don't think we've crossed double digits for monetization yet.
No, I think we currently make $3.50 a month before fees and shit. And Matt has yet to set up our AdSense account, so we literally make no money now.
So
But
I'm pretty daggum positive that these were about $400 at release, and these were like $375. You see what the price trend is. Oh, look at that.
Oh Jesus, that looks like how attractive I was from my 20s to my 30s.
So this is not just particularly ugly for this. It's that is the trend that you can see for Magic after release now. That's what you have to look forward to. Yeah, they were high. Once upon a time I was high too, but at any rate, you can even find them cheaper than this. This is TCG player.
Big shout out to Benson. As always, love having you here. Great time.
I love having all of you here. And if we haven't called you out specifically, thank you, Far North, Richie, Benson, Superfast, Coach. I'm kind of surprised we don't see Cosmic Seeds, but he is in Vegas. Speaking of Vegas, we also had special guest stars drop by with Dual Brain and Prime from the Wizards of the Coast.
Well,
30th.
yeah, and on that note, I just want to let everybody know, Prime sort of sucks. You should not subscribe to his channel. You should not head over to that and subscribe immediately for the content that he creates almost daily. You definitely should not do that. Terrible guy, not handsome, doesn't have a good voice. It's huge thumbs down. Two of them, yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about, like, and you know, kind of roping this conversation back to where it began, where I was talking about with Lorcana. So if you're holding out hopes that you're going to get a you know, Black Friday or Christmas discount on Lorcana, do not expect the Magic type of graphs. That is not going to happen.
So if
at this
anything,
point,
a Lorcana graph is almost completely inverted.
the inverse.
Where,
Actually, so let's take a look at it then. Well, but I think that they were overcharging for it right out of the gate, though, if I'm not mistaken. So, but we'll check it out. We'll see what the graphs look like, just to be fair, and we should be fair. To be fair, because I think they came out of the gate super hot. Okay, wow.
Oh,
well,
geez, Louise, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I knew there was this part of it, but it did the magic thing, and then whoop, let's go.
I mean, where was the point where I could have gotten that at $199.99 plus shipping and handling?
Where
I'll be
could you have
100%
gotten it?
honest.
Like,
Again,
that would have been right about here, right? During Gen Con, we were supposed to be able to get it if you waited in that stupidly ridiculous line. But I did order mine back here, guys. I ordered, you know, 3 cases of it back here. I got none of it. I got one trove. That was it.
Bob loves me the most. Everyone else.
So I'm going to tell you right now, folks, don't hold your breath for Lorcana. I think you won't see such drastic graphs, but I mean, it's already a scalper Timmy market on. I don't know if you guys are aware, so I guess we should just probably bring this up. The Rise of the Floodborn already surpassing the price of the first chapter.
Well,
look at that.
And to
stupid.
Coach
don't
here,
pay for this, folks. Look at that.
In a couple of minutes, Coach is going to read this comment, and he's going to see that, you know, for some Lorcana players, it's almost a better avenue to just buy proxies of the deck you want if you're going to play in person, which is ridiculous of an idea that the first set of Lorcana is just the only way you're going to get it at any decent fucking price is just to buy fake cards of it. And the people that are selling fake cards right now, it's ridiculous. It just, as a disclaimer and warning to anybody buying Lorcana cards, be very careful to make sure that they are authentic.
Singles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even touch sealed at this point unless I know and trust the source that I'm getting it from.
Sorcery as well, yeah.
So that will be a hard no from Amazon, a hard no from TCG Player, a hard no from eBay. No, sorry.
That's why I got.
Well, you know what cemented it for me, Coach. Like if you could put Coach's comment up to 6 minutes behind, and what he was saying is basically, here's one of the issues that I have with WotC, right? Is that they have such a bad relationship with their consumer at this point. It's just bad and toxic between the seller and the buyer of Magic. And you know, they don't share information, right? So that even compounds the problem.
Right.
It
There's no
feels
transparency.
dirty. There's no transparency. So the only thing we can do is grasp at straws. I love your short where you said, I don't know shit. You don't know shit. Nobody knows shit about this game. So stop talking like you do. Yeah. And I try to do anecdotal evidence, right? And I try to speak about what I do see and what I'm hearing from. And I tell you, like I to point out the videos to go watch from the bigger content creators that have a better finger on the pulse. But understand, both Rudy and LGSs, they all have something to gain, right? So you have to filter what they say a little bit. I agree with you, Benson. I don't know about sorcery. I would not be buying into that hoopla. At any rate,
especially because they all look like Richard Kane Fuckinson's art. Like I don't get it. So we'll wait and see. And I still won't buy it. You know, good for you if you got in on it and you make $1 million. I'm trying to be happy. I really am. I'm trying to be happy, Bob. Just frustration and anger is my central point. I wake up with that. You know.
Here's for Coach, because really the telling piece of what you were just saying there is, you know, the fact that people are making proxies that tells you Magic's in a really bad place. And I'll be honest with you, what tells me Magic's in a really bad place is when I go out and I comment on other people's videos when I feel they're selling copium. I really hate when content creators, I believe, feel like they're sharing their hopes about the game rather than what they're seeing, either through anecdotal or empirical evidence. And so I make comments about that, and then I have the vehement responses that are coming back at me about what I'm seeing and saying. That is what tells me that the game's in a really bad spot. Thou does protest too much. And that's what they're doing is you have the trolls coming out saying, no, the game's in a great spot. It's better than it's ever been. Look at the numbers selling more. It's $1 billion game. And I'm like, okay, tell yourself that. But that's why LGSs are closing down. That's why if you track any empirical numbers about your card collection for a collectible game over a period of time, and you have any collection to speak of, it's been decimated. The bigger content creators are now beginning to say what I've been saying since the fireside chat, and like, uh-oh, we're in trouble here. And, I don't even see them changing it. Like, they're coming out with more SKUs, more variants, more secret layers, more products, more reprints. I mean, back-to-back, baller cards. It's looking at you, Great Henge. Looking at you, doubling season.
This is the second release of Lord of the Rings. We're having an afterbirth of a product.
What do you think is going to be the box toppers on those jokers?
The epilogue. Legitimately, this is the second try at a product that didn't go well with the epilogue boosters from the aftermath of March of the Machines. This is just another iteration of that with more product line. And the only reason they think it's going to sell is because they made it more unique with the IP and more sought after because of the mechanically unique cards that are more powerful. Outside of that, this is just a new try at something they've done already that I didn't like. And you can tell by my tone I'm not a fan of it.
I mean, you might be a fan of it, Benson, and if you make $1 million at it, great. It's just not something I'm going to get behind. I just don't know what it would have. What does it have that other things don't have? So it doesn't really offer anything like unique for me. And the only thing that's unique about it at the moment is the amount of money that's going into it.
But for what?
Please don't send me anything, guys. I don't need anything you send me.
Right, like
I feel much better. You know what you could send me? Send me messages that, hey, Bob, you encouraged me to start putting my Magic budget into my Roth IRA or Roth 401k. That would be a great donation to me. Is that you tell me that you're starting to get financially supporting yourself to the degree you can now spend copious amounts of money in ridiculous things like sorcery and Lorcana.
Yeah. I mean, for me, by not buying Magic the Gathering product over the last couple of months, I put away a couple $100 so I can fly to the other side of the world with a couple of my closest friends and enjoy 420 on a beach in Vietnam.
There you go.
Like, I'm all about experiences. I want to have a good time. I want to feel lively. I want to feel engaged with whatever I'm doing. And I just get so fucking frustrated opening a box of Magic. Like, it's been weeks, months probably, since I've opened a Magic the Gathering product. Because it just... I get nothing from it. And by not buying into the hype, the new sets coming out, by passing over those, I'm able to say yes to so many other things. And I think that's a big part of, like, financial responsibility, is the power to say no to things that you would mildly enjoy.
Oh, look at you, Benson. Congratulations, buddy. Bringing a baby Benson in the world. Buy some Lorcana, man. There you go. Baby gift. Lorcana box for your kiddo for when they finally can start doing it. This would be the time to do it. Oh, wow. I will if you get one of these.
Killing me.
I honestly just don't. Magic's just not in a good spot. Yeah, I still have these.
I get you,
Sherry Vegas. These have been sitting here since Sherry Vegas, if you all were watching the stream. Still sitting here. Besides the one that I opened for the stream, and I have others somewhere. I don't know what the hell I did with them. Yeah, I don't know what I did with them, but I'm just not into it. I'm just not. It feels so bad at this point.
Yeah.
I
mean, unless we were doing like a real old school throwback and we got like original Ixalan pre-release, something like that. I don't know what would enthuse me as far as content creation with Magic the Gathering stuff. If it wasn't for Matt, God bless him, at this point putting out all those shorts, I don't know where our focus would be.
Well, I haven't made a lot of content because, again, I really believe it or not, folks, every single Saturday I come on here and I'm telling myself, I'm not going to bash Magic. I'm not going to bash Magic. And then I got on here and I just can't help it. I need to talk Magic. We talk about Magic a lot. So what else can I say? It is where it is. And Benson, I'd be down with that. Or even if we would do like, love you too, Sherry Vegas. Like, doing something like Fallen Empires now that it's getting cheaper and cheaper. But there's 8 cards per pack, so you need about double the pack. So you need about 12 packs, right? Something like that to do a Fallen Empire. But I still think they're about like $10 a pack. Something in that ballpark.
10, 15, yeah.
So, you're still talking like $120 for that. I'd be down for that. It's not ridiculously priced. Just realize that's $120 you're going to turn into $2 real fast.
Oh, yeah. The money you put into something like that is just about the entertainment that you get
experience.
From it. Yeah, exactly. It's just about the experience.
So, I would be willing to do a Fallen Empire sealed battle, and you would need to do more than 6 packs because there's only 8 cards per pack. So it would have to be, like I said, 12 packs.
Seems like that would be a pretty fun
6.
time.
That's 48 cards. Wow. You'd have to play almost every card out of the packs. That might be a little tough, dude. Why not just go with the straight 40, right? You each get 5 packs, and you got to play every card in the pack. Oof, that'd be something different.
It's funny.
Amen, Coach. You aren't lying. Yeah. You ain't kidding. I would right now, if Sherry Vegas walked down here with a Lorcana box, I would jump up and down like a little girl. Like, that'd be great. No, what I'm saying, Benson, is we do all 40 cards. You got to play all 40, make a 60-card deck. That would be, like, struggle busting for all of us. So we'd all have, like, really shitty decks to play with. That'd be fun in itself, right? That'd be something new, unique. Got to try to make all 5 colors work. Everybody's playing a 5-color deck. So, yeah, and then add, 20 lands to it. I think that would be amazing, plus the lands that come in it. The Fallen Empires does have lands, though they're not multicolor. I would do something like that. So what are packs at the moment for Fallen Empires? Anybody know off the top of their head? I do not. Wow, I sound like my southern accent just came out there for a bit. Sorry about that. I am from the South. I was born in Virginia. And I haven't been drinking. That's usually the only time I hear it come out. Fallen Empires. I mean, I'd be game for that simply because and again, when you look at it that way, so I'm seeing them at like $12.99, $11 a pack. So if you did but we could buy a box, right? If we all bought together. And there's boxes as low as $5.99, so $600. I think there's 72 packs in a box, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, right? Benson, you always have a good joke, don't you?
What did he do? I'm not watching. Sorry.
He says, "I love Midnight Hunt." It's the fuck. Why would anybody love Midnight Hunt?
So if we bought an entire box, we could get them at $8.33 a pack. So if we had 4 people buy into it, right?
He likes the lore. On point with the lore. Okay.
Each person would get 18 packs. So we could do it 3 times, right? So each person, if they paid $150, you can get 18 packs. right? So we'd have to do a little bit more for shipping and whatnot. But it certainly is not like one of these money, like do it for us. But we could do it. Coach, amen, brother. I am 100% with you. Is it 60 packs for Fallen Empires? Damn it, it's I've gotten old. You might be right.
Ooh. Dude, I
You
get you,
may be
man.
right.
Yeah, like
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Liliana never did it for me. Jasmine always tickles it. You know,
Wow.
there's
It might be that time of night, folks. If we're talking about getting tickled by Jasmine and what's her
oh, dude, oh
face.
man, yeah, I might have to retire here pretty soon if we're talking
There's
about
only one person that does it for me, and that's Miss Sherry Vegas.
Well, hey,
So
thank you
60
everybody for joining. You know,
divided by 4. That'd be 15 packs a piece. Yeah. So, I mean, you'd be paying basically $10 a pack, right? Plus, we'd have to do some shipping, and somebody has to receive this and do all the work, not it. But yeah, I'll throw $150 at doing that for because then that will give us 3 games with 5 packs. Yes, she thinks Avison is hot.
I was gonna say it's Pumbaa for me.
What's Pumbaa?
Timon's friend, the warthog with the big old booty swinging around.
Sherry Vegas is laughing at you up the stairs. I can hear her laughing to the floor. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Why are we talking about weird shit like which Disney character, cartoon character does it for us? I don't want to
Because
know
we're
the answer
80
to that. I
minutes
don't want
into
to
a
know the
live
answer to
stream
that.
on Saturday night, Bob. Like, it's this is our brand now, don't you know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. For me, it's the Dingle Hopper.
Yeah, the left-handed one specifically.
So at any
So I
rate,
gotta say, Fishbone Quill a little bit overrated in Lorcana. Not the biggest fan
I'm
of
not going
it.
to say that at all. I'm not going to say that at all. I think Fishbone Quill is actually really decent. I think it's
I
inkable
think
too,
it's
if I'm not
decent.
mistaken.
I
No, I mean
think
you can
it's
take
just
any
a
card and turn
little.
it into ink, right? And there's so many times I'm
Yeah,
stuck with cards in
yeah.
my hands that are not inkable. I'm like, damn it.
I gotta
But
say it.
unfortunately,
It
they're
has.
not in they're in like the red and steel color. They're in the ruby and steel colors.
Right, right.
Unfortunately, it's not
Yeah,
like
that's
see
the
the reason
thing.
it's
It's
less
like
impressive is because it's in sapphire,
blue.
right? Because
Yeah,
there's so much
yeah.
ramp and shit already. But if you had that
Right.
in like ruby, oh dude, that fishbone quill
Yeah.
that'd be the
Well,
dope.
that's what I mean. Is like whenever I've played Fishbone Quill, I've never wanted to actually use it because I'm already going wild with ink. So it's just been a dud card every time I've actually played it.
There's lots of that kind of stuff, right? And it's usually like the big cost non-inkable cards that are stuck in my hand, and other ones I'm like, damn it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Damn it! Especially like I'm playing like a steel and ruby deck, and I ended up like ditching my whole first hand, and then they just fill it up again with like the big 7, 6, 5
Yeah, yeah,
cost
yeah.
non-inkable cards. I'm like, shit! I'm not playing these
Yeah, I had
cards for 5 to 8
uh
turns.
my buddy came over last night and he watched me play a game or two of Pixelborn, just so he could get kind of familiar with Lorcana and how the gameplay worked out. And he saw some like 6, 7, 8 cost cards. He was like, "That seems really high," and I was like, "Yeah, it fucking is." And to see people try and play those every once in a while in a game, it's just kind of nutty. So, like I was saying to Matt before, because we're so early on in the life cycle of Lorcana decks, there's a lot to be there, to be discovered for deck building. And I think that's one of the reasons why he'd probably like it so much, is having such limited card
I'm,
pool.
what can I say? I mean, if he doesn't want to like it, he doesn't want to like it. That's cool. But I'll say this: I'll have to say that I have to eat my own words. That the gameplay, it's not that simple, right? It's way more complex than I gave it credit for at first. It doesn't bother me nearly as much as I thought it would about the non-instant interaction. It actually, she's upstairs. I don't know where she is right now. She's somewhere in a pile on a table somewhere. I haven't got I don't have a binder. Like I have empty binders, but I haven't found a binder that I want to put my Lorcana in yet. None of my binders speak to me. I'm waiting for the binders that they came up with for Lorcana. I'm really disappointed. They're only like this big. You know, they're like the little 4-slotters, and
Two
they
by
have the
four,
loose.
yeah.
They don't have
Two
the
by
rigid
twos, yeah.
backs, and there's no zipper.
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't like that. I want something significant. I might go with like one of the 4-slotters. You know, because I want to have like a master play set of the first chapter. So I think it would look neat. I like it when they do the 4 across binders. You might suggest it. There you go. Once you donate me a Pumbaa binder.
Yeah, right. Send a super chat and Bob will buy one.
There are none. So don't send the super chat. There are none.
Can we do that? I think we can do that. Yeah, that's a thing.
I know they can, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, guys. It's there's no such thing. Please don't. If you want to super chat Pat to get a new mic.
Fuck out of here. It's
But at any rate, like I said, I haven't found a binder that's appropriate. You guys know me. I'm into the other geeky stuff that you can attach with it. I'm really enjoying, like I showed you guys I don't have one down here, the custom boxes that I had made, and then I 3D printed the Mickey, and I really want to go get this die that I bought. Oh, I might be able to just show you instead. It'll be easier than going and getting the die. To me, I was looking for like a life counter that really spoke to me about Lorcana.
Interesting.
For the lore counter. Let me see if I can't find the one that I ordered. And you guys tell me. I feel like it has a very Disney kind of vibe to it. So yeah, I'm just gonna share this. This is what I bought, and I understand it's Cthulhu, folks. So I get it already, but it feels very like, I don't know, Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean. I can't wait till they do the Pirates of the Caribbean, Lorcana. I think that's going to be dope. Let me see if I can share the screen. There we go. And this thing's like heavy as shit. And when you hold it in different lights, sometimes it looks purple, sometimes it looks blue. But this is what I'm going to use for my Lorcana. It does
look pretty slick.
So, and it's big. I mean, it's slightly bigger than the Countdown spin down oversized magic die. It's heavy. It's probably a pound. I mean, that Joker is heavy. It's at least half a pound. And they had different colors, but I got the blue one because it spoke to me more. That didn't feel very Disney. That didn't feel very Disney. That didn't feel very Disney. That wasn't very Disney. That wasn't very Disney. That didn't feel very Disney. That was getting closer, but it felt more like, I don't know, like Carolina Panthers maybe. But that felt very Disney to me, and I really like it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
I think all
what I'm getting at is that,
anyways, yeah.
I'm getting into like that's how much I like the game. Is that I want to have, the Mickey playmats, and I made that custom playmat for. Oh God, do I have Discord up? I hope it doesn't make me drop. Have I shared that playmat with you guys? Have you seen that? The one I had made up that I was super happy about with the Captain Hook. I bought like on release day. I really didn't even want this one. Oh God, now my screen's all jacked up because of Discord. Wow, I love that it's all like green screened out. But I got the Steamboat Willie Captain playmat. Oh, am I still on? I'm having like issues now.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
It's just sort of. Yeah.
I bought this. I should have bought more of this kind of stuff on day one. I really wish I had. This is like $10 just for the sleeves, and I was like, wow, that's kind of. It was a little pricey, so I didn't go all in. I didn't get the Captain Hook deck box, which I wish I did. I don't like loose back binders, Coach. When you're talking about the ones that they released, I hope that they do something more significant. So, I hope that we see more swag. I hope we see more secondary market, products coming to the market, or if they even make them from the Disney shop, or I'll pay overpriced for it. I don't give a shit.
Ultra Pro, yeah.
They go in, with Ultra Pro, and I bought I got the Maleficent. I got that like on the first, the Maleficent playmat. But I'm enjoying all of that, right?
Mm.
Unlike Magic, I'm enjoying all the peripherals
Yeah.
associated with it. So I'm very happy to have all of that. And I get
Mm.
excited about seeing it. I need a coffee mug. Like I need something that speaks to me. I do have like a goofy coffee mug from years past, but I feel I
Okay.
need
Yeah.
like a Lorcana coffee mug, right? I really do. Um, so I'll be looking for that and a Lorcana hat, and Lorcana shirts.
Mm.
Um, and I very much want to embrace. I want to embrace the product and kind of swim around in it, you know,
Mm.
to enjoy it, and not just the financial value of those things. That I think could sour it really quickly, and that's honestly that's the most sour part about Lorcana at the moment. Um, yeah, I could have got one
Ooh.
for like $5.99 on release day. And it's okay. I don't really like the quality of the deck boxes. They're like that plasticky kind of ultra pro ones that break down super quick.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I want to enjoy it. I mean, that's not a terrible price. I hope
Mm.
they reprint all that stuff. I don't know why they wouldn't reprint that kind of stuff. But and I hope that all of you can enjoy that. Imagine like little kids all around that are playing it. Family members that have never played a TCG before, and you get them
Mm.
their aerial play mat. You get them their Mickey sleeves or their flounder binders. That
Mm.
that
Mm.
all this kind of stuff that you can get people and just really embrace the game in a way. I think that other games try, but will fall well short of what a Disney IP can do.
Mm. Was there anything you wanted to touch on before we wrap up for tonight?
I think you and Matt were planning on doing something tomorrow. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that
Yeah,
now.
tomorrow we're planning about 7 p.m. We're gonna try and get into some Legions Realms at War. We're gonna do some live play while we try and figure out the product line itself and some of the rulings and a little bit of different things here and there. So tune in tomorrow, probably about 7 p.m. Eastern for some live gameplay. Outside of that, make sure that you hit the notification bell. That way, when you see our new videos, you can get alerted of those right in your inbox. Otherwise, I think, it's going to be kind of the, playing on Pixelborn. I've got some mail coming in. I've ordered some more tasty treats off of TCG players. So, pretty much the standard
Yeah,
cardboard
I want to
leather.
wait.
Yeah.
I want to wait for those. Oh, I guess so. There were a couple more things. I guess Lorcana related. Still very much a wait and see, folks, about Lorcana, and understand
Oh,
the
we're
second
losing
set's
you a bit
coming
there.
out in roughly a little less than 2 months. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout. You're going to have to actively hunt it because people are vultures for this. For any kind of pre-release, it's probably going to go within seconds, any place that it
Yeah.
pops up. So if you have any real interest in trying to get in an MSRP from reputable sources that you have, your game nerds, your cool stuff inks, like I haven't seen any of them actually have legit pre-sales yet. If they did, they went
Nope.
so fast and the bots got them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen Best Buy post anything at all, not even placeholders. I haven't seen anybody do it. It's kind of weird. I think that they were trying to avoid kind of the debacle that they had
On
with the
set
first
one,
set. So
yeah.
I think they are listening, and give them breathing room. I would not doubt that they didn't have time to fix the wrapping issue yet. So fully
Right, yeah.
expect the second set to not be sealed, just like the first set wasn't. Hopefully that's something they can fix in a future set. Give them time. They're trying to get their feet underneath them. I still recommend not paying exorbitant prices, right? Like find your price point that you're willing to get into it and then stick with that. If you can't get it, it's fine to miss out. You will not miss out entirely on Lorcana, and singles are pretty cheap. So I think they're going to get cheaper when these
Yes.
reprint waves,
Yeah.
no matter what happens, I think the singles are going to get cheaper, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't think there's any choice but to see that. We know that we're getting at least one wave to be released. The one that I was supposed to get
I
this
think in the next
last
couple of
week
weeks, yeah.
did not. Well, my LGS said that I would, when I didn't get it on the 18th, when I didn't get it on the 1st, he told me hold off, don't pay $250 a box. We'll get some. check with him, in the first week of September. Then it was the second week, now the third week, and he still has no update. So I think it'll be October will be my best bet when I think that the waves will hit. I understand that they're supposed to be released mainly to the stores that got them in the first place, which I think is kind of shitty. I think that they're really not going to send a restock to the big box stores, is what I'm hearing.
Right. Yeah, same.
I think that's like a toxic thing, so I don't know where that's going to go. And if they just did LGS only, I think that would be perfectly fine. I don't think they're going to have a problem selling at just LGSs. Like, I think they will sell out. Don't look for Black Friday deals. That's not a real thing.
It's not going to exist. Yeah.
If you have the chance to pull a trigger and it's within a reasonable striking distance of MSRP, and you have an interest in it, find that tolerance band that you have above MSRP. Like Pat said, $200 is his price point. I did pre-order from LGSs and I got almost nothing from those pre-orders. Yeah. So at any rate, I have very little Lorcana, folks. And I'm just going to wait. I'm patient. And if I never get it, so be it. Right. But I think that ultimately I'll get any singles that I want to have if I really need to have them. I hope that there'll be enough boxes released. Hopefully Lorcana, we'll see what it is. I mean, they've released the communication that they're going to try to get the boxes down to MSRP. Whatever that means. We'll see how that works.
Right.
So we'll see where it goes, but be on the lookout for the second set already. It's coming up in less than 2 months, so we're in that window. Furthermore, there's going to be that next wave after October. So October's supposed to get more allocation out to the stores, and then there's going to be another one in the first quarter. We don't know what that means. They haven't given us a date. We don't know how much. I'm assuming that'll be the largest of the print runs, would be my bet. Right, because they have a better idea of demand, and it's farther out, so they can probably tell them, print night and day until you run out of our print time, would be my guess.
We'll take all of it,
Yeah, so I would assume that that'll be like the larger of all the print runs will be in the first quarter. I do not know which SKUs are being reprinted. I would not look for the troves and the gift boxes, as popular as they are. They probably have to pick just one product line to get as much as possible, and that's probably the draft boxes. That's my best guess. Pure opinion, folks. So,
well, hey, it's been phenomenal getting to talk with you, Bob. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. As always, we are Cardboard Conversation. No,
we're not.
Always.
This is Cardboard Conversations. We're Cardboard Odysseys.
This is Cardboard Conversations. We are currently Cardboard Odysseys.
We're currently Cardboard Oddities.
Yeah. This is always Cardboard Conversations. We are now Cardboard Odysseys. But
we'll figure out our name at some point.
Before we met you and after we'll leave you, you're awesome. So thanks for joining us here tonight. Y'all take care until next time, okay?
Peace.